Welcome to Marketecture, where you can get smart fast with in-depth interviews of leading technology vendors. I'm Mike Shields, and I'm here with Amol Waishampayan. He's the Chief Product Officer at FullThrottle. Hey, Amol, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks, Mike, for having me.
So let's get into the big easy question or hard question, depending on how this goes. But what is FullThrottle? What does your company do?
Sure. FullThrottle essentially is a API and SaaS-based first-party data solution and technology company. So we have solutions built on patent pending technology. Our roots are in agency, media, retail, data, all the way since 1996. So our combined organization has been around for quite some time.
You mentioned earlier you're installed on 6,000 customers, I believe. What are we talking about? What is installed? Is it a software to help these companies, like you said, track the path of a consumer? Are they using you for targeting, for measurement, for attribution, all the above? What does it look like in a typical customer?
Yeah, so it's a little bit all of the above, but it depends on what kind of audience we're talking to. What we essentially have is, we have a on-site technology, right? So it is a script that you place on your website, right?
Okay.
And this script allows us to generate incremental, unique, cookieless first-party household data. Now, because we do that for such a wide variety of clients, right? Like we do that for a holdco agency, and then we do that for a window company that is more, a very local.
That doesn't have a big agency. It doesn't have like a,
exactly
or whatever. They don't have the same level of cloud sophistication that a big brand might have.
Yeah, exactly. So, depending on that, we have kind of a SaaS out of the box. You can identify, market, measure transactions, and do all of that in this kind of self-contained closed loop measurement platform. Or we have full API service so that you're able to get all of the rich data, not just in the visualization suite that we have, but also just a pure data play. Mm-hmm. And when we're working with like a holdco agency, of course, they have huge data departments and investments. And so they are essentially onboarding the data into their tech stack and then using their, media fulfillment services and measurement services to get more incrementality too.
So is this for brands that don't, like, imagine this is for brands that they're not direct response brands where they have a huge database of email addresses. Is this for brands that don't know their customers that well, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I think in general, lack of first party data is a major problem, right?
Especially if you're a CPG brand, you sell in stores, you don't know the customer, all that stuff.
Yeah, I would say they're definitely at one end of the spectrum. I mean, some have like very big loyalty programs. So, if they've really invested in like some kind of loyalty program, maybe they have a bunch of emails basically, right? Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, everyone's been reliant on an audience living in an ad tech solution, right? An audience living in a platform somewhere. I do all my Facebook retargeting on Facebook, right? And there's a pixel audience lives in there. So for the most part, there's just not a lot of scale. I mean, the visual I think of is like, like that movie Mad Max Fury Road. You ever see that one where like they're in the desert, right? Just Mad Max. And, there's like this one mountain that's like spewing water, right? Like and everyone wants it. And that's kind of how, we really see ourselves in that bigger picture, is that the world is screaming for, hey, post-cookie apocalypse, whatever, right? You need first-party data, and then everyone talks about it, but just no one really has that much of it. So really, a lot of our play is we're essentially 10xing your first party. We're creating it from scratch, and those are essentially all incremental audiences that you don't have today. So when you're starting with incremental audiences, that leads all the way downstream to incremental performance, and then incremental actual business impact and something like sales transactions.
Okay. You mentioned, I believe, that you're talking about, holding company agencies and smaller agencies. You also work with media companies, I believe. How do they make use of this product?
Yeah. So, essentially media companies also are looking for ways that they can get first party data from their advertisers, right? To have more data informed and better addressable audiences within their ecosystems, right? So as an example, Spectrum, who we have a partnership with, might sit across from someone like Cox Media, right? Mm-hmm. And say, hey, how do you guys use FullThrottle, right? And Spectrum would say, well, we put FullThrottle on our advertisers' websites. And that creates net new first-party data And that data is like directly integrated with our entire stack so that we can actually deliver data informed, addressable linear streaming activations, right? And, Spectrum gets to say, hey, we kind of get to finally close a loop with our solutions because FullThrottle also ingests all of our advertisers' transactional data. So when clients of someone like Spectrum are saying, we're always trying to figure out how video drove sales transactions, right? For our clients, FullThrottle is allowing them to do the identification, the marketing, and the measurement of that entire loop.
Thanks for listening. To hear the complete interview, subscribe at marketecture.tv.